What if I told you you could buy a home today and lock in an interest rate from 2021? I'll explain how in this episode of Local Intel. Welcome to Local Intel, the Gulf Coast. I'm your host, Nicholas Rapisardi, broker realtor for Simply Home here in Sarasota, Florida. What if I told you that you could buy a home here on the Gulf Coast in Florida today and lock in an interest rate from 2021? I'm talking 3%, 3.5%, or even lower. It's not a gimmick, and I don't have a time machine. It's a specific strategy called Assumable Mortgage. While everyone else is complaining about 6 and 7% rates ruining affordability, savvy buyers are using this backdoor to save hundreds, even thousands on their monthly payments. Before we break down the math on how this actually works, hit that subscribe button. The market here is shifting faster than the headlines can keep up. And on Local Intel, I make sure you're the first to know where inventory is moving. So stay until the end and I'll tell you where that is. And I'd like to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Have you ever tried to assume a mortgage, or are you just hearing about this for the first time? I'm curious to see how many of you are already hunting for these deals. Oh, one more thing. If you have a friend or family member who is currently frustrated and ready to give up on their home search because of high rates, text them this link to the video right now. This one strategy can bridge the affordability gap, rescue their home search, and put thousands of dollars back into their pocket every single year. All right, let's get into what this is, the pros, the cons, and exactly how to find these assumable gems. What is an assumable mortgage? Simply put, an assumable mortgage allows a buyer to step into the seller's existing loan. You take over their exact interest rate, their remaining balance, and the remaining timeline. So let's say a seller in Lakewood Ranch has 26 years left on a $400,000 loan at 3.2%. You don't go to a lender for a new loan. You literally take that one over. In a market where every percentage point matters, that can save you hundreds, if not thousands a month on your payment. Now, here's the catch. Not every loan is assumable. Conventional loans, usually no. They have a due on sale clause. FHA, VA, USDA loans, yes. By law, they're generally assumable. The VA loan has a superpower. Most people think you have to be a veteran to assume a VA loan. This is false. Anyone with good credit can assume a VA loan. Here are the 3 pros and why buyers love this. Number 1, the rate. The rate is by far the biggest pro here. Number 2, you'll have lower closing costs. Since you aren't originating a brand new loan, you often skip the appraisal and many of the hefty lender fees. Number 3, faster equity is already in place. You aren't resetting the clock to year 1 of a 30-year loan. You're usually picking it up at year 4 or 5, where more of your payment is actually going toward the principal. It sounds too good to be true, right? Here's the reality check and the cons. It's called the equity gap. If the home is worth $600,000, but the mortgage you're assuming is only $400,000, you'll have to come up with that $200,000 difference in cash, or get a second mortgage, which will be at today's current rates. Let's take a look at the difference between assumable and today's current rate. The difference between the traditional new loan at 6.37%, which is the current interest rate, and the assumable mortgage at 2.96%, which was the average interest rate in 2021, is $1,020 every single month. That's over $12,000 back in your pocket in the first year alone. This isn't just a good deal. This is securing a massive financial advantage for you and your family. Now, the interest paid over the first 5 years has a difference of over $84,000. And guess what? That first 5 years of interest paid on the assumable loan has already been paid by the seller. It also takes patience. Standard closings are typically 30 days. Assumption closings, more like 45 to 60. Most lenders have a longer processing time for the assumability of the loan. So, how do you do this? Our goal is to find you a great home that pairs a great interest rate with the ideal lifestyle. If you'd like to receive active listings with assumable mortgages, click the link below to book a call where we'll walk through your must-haves and the mechanics of the assumption process. After our conversation, I'll provide you with a tailored selection of homes that align you with your vision and your budget. And finally, as we're seeing in our February data, Sarasota single-family homes are cooling and inventory is growing. This is your playground for negotiation. If we find a home that's been sitting for 60 plus days and they have an assumable mortgage, we just found you the best deal in Florida.